Great day, beautiful people, my truth seekers, my deadbeat dads, my single moms, my God-fearing people. I want to thank you guys for your time tuning in to the channel. It's D Bailey Speaks. I hope that you listen. I wanted to bring you guys a topic to let you know exactly about some harm that is imminent for your boys, for your sons specifically. Your sons are in danger, and I want to tell you why. First we get into it, I'm going to ask that you guys please subscribe, jam that notification bell, hit the thumbs up, and please, please, please share this video with someone you know who have sons, have boys that they care about and could possibly benefit. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to go into it by illustrating the point using a personal experience of mine. All right, and about as you know, those of you who know me know that I'm from Metro Atlanta, grew up in Decatur, Georgia, raised by a single mom. At about 14 years of age, I was going through a lot of stuff at home. Just lost a stepdad, had a weekend dad, sorry about that. And at the time, my older brother had just left home. He was just turned 18, and it was just me and my mother. She was working third shift. All right, she was working at a hospital. So the time she was working at a hospital, working third shift. So I believe at the time she was at home catching some Z's because she worked third shift. All right, we were in an environment of survival. We weren't thriving. All right, it was daytime. I believe I was around 9th grade. I had just purchased a black BB gun. Looked like a .45 caliber pistol. Okay. I had some friends around the neighborhood that I played with. A few about a year younger. But for the most part, a few of them were younger than I was. I was the oldest. We all knew each other. Everyone in the neighborhood could recognize our faces. It was an apartment complex to about 6 buildings. All right, so being that I had just purchased the BB gun or the pellet gun, I was excited to play around with it, show the friends what I got. But at the same time, which a lot of people would not admit to, I was troubled. I had a lot of strife at school. I was around gangs, lots of crime, lots of drugs, car thefts. All right, I had a lot going on inside. So subconsciously, I believe I was exerting my authority, making bad choices. Okay, so the decision that I made was, you know, I'm gonna play cops and robbers. I'm gonna play bad guys with my new gun at 14 years old. At 14 years old, you would think that I would be heavily ingrained in the sport, some after school program, doing something positive and productive. But because my father had been disenfranchised from his role, you know, as my authority figure, because my mother was in survival mode, I was out wandering the streets making bad choices. So this particular day, as I'm chasing the kids around the apartments, I can truly look back now and say that a few of them were a little scared. All right, so all of a sudden I see these light blue cars, police cars, swerve around the the building. The first one get by 15, 20 feet before they approach me. One's hopping out of the car. I see the car shake. The car is barely even in park. Window rolled down. One car has a gun pointed at me. The other cop jumps out of the car, gun drawn, tell me to put my hands up, let me see your hands, turn around, get on the building. I'm scared shitless. I don't know what to do. I knew what was going on, but you know, the immediacy of it, you know, adrenaline starts to pump. All right, I comply. Next thing I know, my hands are against the wall. I'm being patted down, searched, pretending as though I don't know what's going on, but you know, I had a gun. And if anyone looking at this gun a few feet away would definitely believe that it was a real gun. All right, as a Marine Corps firearms instructor, I could truly admit that now. All right, my mother was called. I had an aunt that lived in the building behind where I was being searched. She's looking out of the window like the lady on 227. Next thing I know, my mother comes out of the, she swerves around in her car, hair rollers, angry, the typical angry, you know, being woken out of her sleep, third shift worker. What the hell's going on? What are you doing? The cop tells my mother, ma'am, do you know that he had this gun? She did not. Well, let me back up. I believe she did know that I had the gun, but again, I believe I convinced her to let me keep it in my room, let me play with it. Mind you, I convinced her. I'm taller than she, I'm 14 years old, and I convinced her to give me authority over this weapon. All right? He tells my mother, I could have shot him, I could have killed him. Up until recently, I did not let that register in my brain. He could have, and he would have been justified. Mind you, again, the weapon looked real, the weight was real, it was metal. It wasn't a toy plastic weapon. It was a heavy, true weight, okay, cling metal and all that good stuff. All right. He could have shot and killed me. About some years ago, I learned of the Tamir Rice story. A bell rang, a bell went off in my head. That could have been me. Right? And I'm telling you this because a lot of you may be in the same situation. You're surviving, and you're telling yourself that I have to do what I have to do to eat, to earn a living. Okay? Your mother raising a son by yourself. You're a father. You feel as though you're disenfranchised. You don't have the authority that you should have over your son. That's not enough. You have a son that's in danger. I was just watching the news. So the conversation is being had, okay? Some governmental body will be acting shortly in the near future, whether it be federal, state. The conversation was, is there a crime problem in the black community? It's a legitimate question, whether you want to admit it or not. Okay, it is a legitimate question. It's not coming out of thin air. Okay, and the conversation is not why. The question is there? Okay, it's being phrased as a question for, you know, to allow room for conversation. But I can tell you, there is a problem. There is a problem. As a mom, as a dad, Your son is a casualty of war. And the time is to be proactive. We need to temper our actions. We need to start taking aggressive steps towards being a little bit more involved in those boys' lives. They are our future leaders. All these degenerate values we have going on right now, you know, it's secondary. It's secondary to what's important. Our boys, these are the leaders of our communities. These are the pillars of our communities. These are the leaders of our future boys. These are the leaders of the girls that need an example set on how to choose a partner, choose a husband. For that validation, all those things. Those men need to be there. So if anything that you guys need to take away from this video is that your sons are in danger. We need to take aggressive steps on correcting the ills, correcting the beefs, the confusion. It needs to happen immediately. The boys hanging out in the malls, making bad choices, they're doing this because there's no oversight, there's no discipline. Our fathers provide that discipline that they need to be strong men. Otherwise, we're going to have a community, a country full of boys that are feminine, that are making bad choices, that are filling up our prisons. Okay? Let's do what we got to do, folks. Dads, step up. Moms, start making better decisions as it relates to boys and their fathers. Okay? It starts with you. Stop marrying the state. Stop trading their lives for a check. Let go of the court system. Keep the court systems out of your families. It's urgent. That's all I have for right now. Thank you for listening. D. Bailey Speaks. Peace.